Demons Direct, how can I help you?
How much would it cost to send a level 2 poltergeist to my ex-boyfriend's house?
Okay, what we're just looking at here was the very first video that I rendered on Trimz.AI. I got in and did the one-off test, and I rendered another thing which was okay, but then I bought the subscription and I fully got in, and I started from scratch, but I wrote down a pretty specific idea, and I wrote the specific dialogue, and I wrote that there's the demon in the call center, and then the woman calls, and I gave him the text for them to say, and then I gave some descriptions for what I wanted the haunting to look at the house, and took 3 or 4 minutes to render, came back, and I was just amazed. I was particularly amazed at the haunting sequence and just the effects there, and the dynamism of it, and the guy running out of his house screaming and all of that. And I just kept rendering some more on this project today, or that same day, and learned about the platform, learned what it was good at, what it wasn't bad at. But I'm just so amazed here. So, all right, let's take a look at the next one here.
So you're a real wraith, right? Yes. How much for you to hide in my ex-girlfriend's kitchen pantry until she finds you?
Okay, so I thought turnabout is fair play. So if the guy's gonna get haunted by the ex-girlfriend should get haunted by the guy. And I hadn't thought of this as a series or a continuing thing. I just thought the Demons Direct was just, kind of cute. But we'll go back to that in a minute when I decided to sort of franchise that. But I was really happy with this one here. The arm's a little bit backwards there, but I think that the thing that the AI really got right about this one was sort of the sketchiness of it. And I don't know if I directed it to do that or not, but I described, Jeff being in a parking lot in the middle of the night, and the wraith was behind a warehouse, so it got that whispering, sketchy quality there, which I thought was super fantastic. The reveal here is good. I didn't give any direction other than she just finds the wraith in her closet. I think the AI did a good thing here. So a lot of fun on this one.
Dude, sending that wraith to Mary's was epic! But we're worried that this thing between you two is getting out of control.
Don't worry, I got this.
We're worried! We're worried!
Here is your order. The last edamame you will ever eat.
The last edamame you will ever eat. So, you don't want to be unfair to people in a sense, and you want to have a positive feeling when people watch your videos. So I thought that it would be really good for Jeff's two buddies to try to calm him and the situation down, hey, this, you can't be sending these demons back and forth to each other. But this sort of highlights that the AI was not really spot on with 3 guys talking at once, and they're all kind of back and forthing to each other. So I think it sort of misassigned some of the voices to each other, and may not have necessarily had the person that was talking on the screen when we were hearing the voice. But I thought that Death delivering the edamame was doing great. And it's just fun. It was just fun, and it got me further into learning the system and understanding what it's good at, what it's not good at. I had to do the scene with the guys several times because it just got a little awkward where they were on the wrong sides of each other and all of that, and I had to fill out my prompt a little more. So we're going to go back to Demons Direct on the next one.
Demons Direct, how can I help you?
I want you to scare my math teacher.
Kid, you again! I told you no already. You should have just done your homework in the first place. I can't go around haunting teachers over bad grades, so don't bother me anymore.
Okay, so in that one there, I kind of... actually, I think the AI and I were talking about this, and the AI thought that Demons Direct made a good name for the series, and I was like, well, that's a good idea. And so then I thought, well, hey, wait a minute, let's kind of go back, because I just came up with the idea of the guy getting haunted, then the girl getting haunted, then the other guys. I thought, well, wait a minute, let's go back to the call center, and I asked the AI to help me find a name for the blue demon, and he named him as Cyrus. I thought that was great. So then I came back and I wrote some sort of specific dialogue for the scene where the kid calls in and he wants Cyrus to haunt his teacher. Then he calls right back.
Demons Direct, how can I help you?
But what if I promise to dedicate my life to evil from this moment on and forever? Like really extra evil, like a crazy villain in an old creepy movie, and I stole my parents' debit card.
How much is available on that debit card?
Okay, so I wrote the dialogue for that, but I added a description in there for trying to get a response from Cyrus. And the AI wrote back and says, "Oh, that's great. The temptation of stolen money would be just what a demon would want." And I also had his co-worker hanging out with him, and without me asking to, the AI named his co-worker Bartholomeus or something there. But I sent him a direction. I said, I want to see a call center. I want to have him receive the call. Here's what I wanted. But here is where stuff is about to get really, really, really interesting. So in this next video, I rendered it a couple of times with a teacher, but it was kind of creepy and unpleasant. And I don't want that. I don't want people feeling unpleasant. I want them to be entertained and happy. And I don't want a weird, evil-y feeling, even though this kid has just dedicated his life to evil. So I put in a detailed prompt to the AI, asking it to render me a situation where Mark, the kid who's just dedicated his life to evil, gets an A, and one of his co-students is astounded by this. And the AI put this whole scene together just from me asking it to give me a general goal.
Mark, an A in math? How did you do it? You were failing last week.
Let's just say I made a few investments. I don't have to worry about grades ever again.
Huh?
Slow, evil chuckler. Nah.
Okay, and at the end of that, he goes, slow, evil chuckler. And he does it again in this scene here, which I don't know where the AI came up with that. That's kind of like spelling out an emoji, which I often do myself just to be, I don't know, a little bit different. I thought it was so genius and just so much fun. I went back and I'm like, okay, AI, that's really good stuff. I said, I've got another idea. I said, now that Mark has got his powers, I said, show me him using his powers to turn a stoplight from red to green so he can get on his way to school without having to stop at the red stoplight. So here is what the AI came up with.
Seriously? Another red light? Much better. Low, evil, chuckly.
Okay, so the AI wrote all of that and added the low, evil, chuckly thing in again. And I actually wrote back and I told it the low, evil, chuckly thing was genius. But yeah, so the AI could basically understand scenarios and challenges and concepts and stuff. And I thought that was so good, I flipped it back around for this next scene, and again asked the AI. I gave it a general goal. I said, let me see Mark getting to school. I did put in some specific stuff. I said I wanted him on his the student of the month parking spot. I wanted some of the girls to giggle at him flirtatiously, and then I wanted him to respond with cool confidence.
Hey.
Okay, in that scene there, you want to pay real attention to all of the background sounds, the sounds of Mark parking and chaining up his bike, and just the ambient sounds. It's super amazing, and I really like the way that the AI did it, because I've noticed that when you give the AI specific text instructions, it's in a hurry to do those text instructions. But when you give it a vague concept and you ask it to do something, and in this case, a very sublime emotional reaction, it seems to take more time to do the thing that it writes for itself, rather than rushing to go through the prompts that you give it. So, all right. I did one more on this, and I thought, well, hey, let's flip this back around and let's go back to the office. And because Cyrus, the junior demon at the 1990s call center, has gotten the money from the kid's parents' stolen credit card, he gets the Employee of the Month. Just like the kid Mark got the parking spot for Student of the Month, he's getting his reward here.
And so, for exceeding his quarterly quota by a truly unethical margin, the Employee of the Month plaque goes to Cyrus.
Thank you, sir. I couldn't have done it without the dedication of my clients.
Try not to make the rest of us look bad, Cyrus.
Okay, on this one, I did give the AI some conceptual instructions. I wanted his boss to give him the award begrudgingly, and I wanted him to accept it, I think, arrogantly. So I threw in a few little emotional descriptions on it, and I said, look, just make me the scene where the boss gives him the Employee of the Month award. By the way, you can read Employee of the Month Cyrus on the plaque. AI's had a real problem in what I've seen so far getting letters on stuff right, and it's moving around. Just unbelievable. But as I was doing this, the AI was commenting back and was like, oh, this is a great closer to the storyline where Cyrus gets it. And it wrote all of the dialogue. It didn't write any of the dialogue. So, wow. The AI learns from you, and it can take the situations that you've given it, and then it can predict it. So, anyway, this was literally the first thing that I did once I got into the program. I really had zero experience, and boy, if I can do it, you can do it.